Yeah, but don't worry about it. Welcome, ICP fans, to another episode of the Indy Sports Car Podcast. Hey, Josh.
Frank, well, how are you?
Good. Matt will be joining us shortly, and Kevin is. Well, Kevin and Abby live a block away from the truck, so they're busy. So, hey, did you catch any of the Indy Pro 2000 stuff, or?
Um,
No, sorry, the USF 2000 Pro.
saw a little bit of the wreck at the end of the backstretch there, but I don't recall who was involved.
I don't either, dude. Finelli is still racing.
Oh, Charles Finelli, really?
Yeah, dude, he's still racing in USF Pro 2000.
Well, I mean,
USF 2000, whatever. Indy, Pro Mazda, whatever.
yeah. Well, I think he's from NYC, so I mean, if he's got a well-paying,
to do with it.
well, I'm saying if he's got a well-paying job, racing's his way to go have fun on the weekend, and he gets to do it at the pro level rather than doing SCCA stuff.
I wouldn't call that pro level, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the money, you can race there, no questions asked. It's not exactly pro.
Yeah,
but he is like a green hat with an orange brim. He sticks out really. But it was funny because I was watching it on YouTube today on my way to work, and Elaine Sinclair was on there, like she always is. And I said, I'm like, wow, Finelli's still doing it. Like, I was like, nicest guy you ever meet. Yeah, living the dream. And she's like, yeah, living the dream, but a moving road cone. That was funny. Did you catch did you catch the first practice today?
Didn't catch first practice. I only caught qualifying.
So, what's the fat jolly guy, the pit reporter? What's his name? Because there's Kevin Lee, and he's not fat and jolly, and then there's the other guy,
Snyder.
Yeah, that's it. So he's in front of I think it was Erickson's pit box with a wheel of cheese and a cheese grater, showing us plebs, us low IQ folk, what tire degradation looks like. So he takes the cheese and he goes, and then there's cheese on the bottom. He's like, "That's what the rubber looks like." What are you doing? So
interesting choice of visual aids there.
Yeah, but to James Hinchcliffe's dismay, he used the big part of the cheese grater, not the little part. So it wasn't accurate to what tire shredding looks like and marbles on the track. Matt, did you see this?
See what?
Schneider with the wheel of cheese in pit lane today for practice?
No, I did not.
Because we're so fucking stupid, and we can't understand what tire coming off of a slick wheel looks like inevitably on a track. So he had a wheel of cheese and a cheese grater in front of Ericsson's pit stall, and he went.
And then, God.
Yeah. Not only did he show us his now shredded cheese as a visual aid to rubber on a track, but he showed us the wheel of cheese, and it had grooves in it. And he said, "This is what your tire looks like inevitably." And I went, "No, it doesn't. It doesn't look anything like a wheel of cheese after a cheese grater. It doesn't at all. What are you talking about?" So then Hinchcliffe goes, "Hey, no, Zach Schneider, that's it, right?"
Marty Schneider.
Marty Schneider, that's it. So he goes, "Marty, pick up your cheese grater and use the smaller holes, not the big holes." He goes, okay, so and Hinchcliffe is coaching him on how to shred his cheese better for a more accurate visual representation of shredded tire. I'm
And you said
watching this. I'm like, this is a perfect example of why these two idiots need to go. And of course, Towns and Bell's over there, like, hey, I used to drive on them too. Those tires that do that cheese grating stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to do that too.
and you said this was during practice.
Practice one, yeah, 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you watch, certain motorsports. Free practices are just a plethora of useless knowledge. The stuff that the commentators will come up with just to keep people entertained during a free practice is insane.
Yeah, like I'm watching them, like I feel so much dumber now.
Yeah, we watching like MotoGP and stuff like that. You watch some of the free practices and the stuff they're talking about. You like if you came in the middle of it, you find yourself asking, "What did I just walk into?"
Right.
Yeah, they're talking about stuff like old races. They're talking about stuff. One commentator's really good with talking about birds that live in the area around the track.
Okay.
So watching when you're in free practices and stuff like that, it's just the stuff you will hear will just blow your mind.
Yeah, it's pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, trying to fill the dead air is never easy, but still.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Just there we go. That's better. Okay. So at any rate, we didn't do a show after Barber.
Or Long Beach.
No, everybody's been pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to get a show out before Indy, to get in with the May because we've been. I just want to thank everybody out there for downloading the podcast this year because it's probably the best year we've ever had, and it's the least amount of effort we've ever done. So that figures.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. But we are still the longest running podcast, so we still got the number one.
Whoop whoop.
Yep. And I want to say hi to Abby and hi to Kevin. They're at they live at Indy, so they're busy this weekend, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta be honest, this is one of my favorite Grand Prix of the year.
The Indy Grand Prix.
Yeah, like I've been, like I would say the first 5 years of it, I didn't miss a single one.
Right.
Like in a lot of years, it was the only Indy race I went to. Like I wouldn't go to the 500, I would go to that one.
Mm-hmm.
So it holds like I really love this track, and cause I love turn one. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Just the photos of turn one looks insane. Love it. And yeah, I mean I love the back straightaway. There's a turn 7, I believe it is. Go through the S's and then you come.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, great passing opportunity. I remember Will Power. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Will. It was Rossi. Remember Rossi's first year? It was right before his 500 win. He comes in here and he dicked Will so hard that Will ended up in the grass at turn 7, and Rossi never even came close to touching him. Just the setup of the move that he made alone just totally crossed Will up, and Will ended up like, oh.
Oh, and the track that they use for the Indy Grand Prix is just so. You get a little bit of everything. You've got a front straight, a back straight. You get some S's. You get some banking again when they go back out on the track. Then they come back in.
Not really. I mean, there's not much banking they use if you think about it, because they don't use any turns. It's the front stretch and then the short.
Don't they use?
No, they come in. They cut turn 1 completely out.
Hold on, let me look because there's a part of like turn 3, and then when they come back onto the front straightaway, they use part of turn 4.
No, if you ever been there, it's not even close.
No,
No, it looks that way, but turn 4 is another 500 yards.
Yeah.
that-
Well,
that's why they have such a humongous runoff from turn 1.
turn 3 is what they use because I'm looking at a map of it right now. They use turn 3, and then they come back in and they use just like the tail end of turn
No.
4.
No, you're thinking of 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because they go
I'm
the
looking at
opposite
it
direction.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
yeah, it's turn 2. I'm thinking
because
of.
they use the short shoot of
Yep.
turn 2 in between 1 and 2, so you really can't count that as banking. Plus the track's not banked in the first place
Yeah.
anyway. There's what, 14 degrees? It's not much. It's really not much, to the point where when you're there and you're watching them go into turn 1, it looks like they're going to run full speed into the damn wall. And then all of a sudden they just go, "Whir." You're like, how? How? It, like, your brain can't process what you're looking at when you see it in person, you know? It's really hard. Like on TV, of course it looks normal. They're turning left. But when you're there, he's doing 240 straight into a brick wall, a concrete wall, and then all of a sudden it's very odd looking. You know what I'm saying, Josh?
yeah. I mean, I kind of miss the old F1 layout where they would use turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like on iRacing, it's much easier to use. Trust me.
Yeah. Well,
because you can get, you don't have to bother with that weird hairpin, not a hairpin, but it's a right, left, right.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, I
left,
mean, they added the right, left, right when they got MotoGP just to curb speeds. Because if you're on 2 wheels by the seat of your pants going around that corner into a tight turn 1, God help you.
I mean, honestly, I don't think. Well, maybe with other cars, but with IndyCar, I don't think them putting that turn in and them using it is really curtailing any sort of type of speed. Because by the time they get to turn 1, they're at full speed anyway. I mean, it doesn't take much for them to go get up to speed to go to turn 1, because they're in 6th gear, just pinned it.
Now, here's a question, and I've seen some debate about this on different forms of social media. Do you think they should put the horseshoe back in after turn 4?
No.
No.
I love the S's because it sets up a high speed braking into turn 7. So taking that out, I think, takes away from the second passing zone on this track. Because there's only 2 if you think about it. It's turn 1 and turn 7.
Right. At the end of each straightaway. Yeah, I've seen some debate about that before. I think that series of turns after turn 4 serve a purpose for some series, but for IndyCar, it really you lose that drive because you're reducing your speed coming out of that horseshoe, and you can't get the drive down the front straightaway like you can with just that little S chicane in there.
Right.
For stuff like if MotoGP were to go back there, I think that would be something cool to have. I know there are some other racing series that happen there that use it because they do some sports car racing there throughout the year, and the sports car races will usually use that little horseshoe. But yeah, I like I said, I've seen on like Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that some debate about should the horseshoe be reintroduced, and I don't think it should.
I agree. I don't think it should either.
I will say, looking at some of the stuff on IndyCar's website about this weekend, the driver performance index is something neat that they have on the website, and it's kind of hard to understand what you're looking at, but if you really look at it for a little bit, it's got some neat information. It basically just starts and finishes over the last few years, but it's cool to look back and see, the history of this race.
What, of the GP?
Yeah. Like just where everybody started, who's been doing it for Castro Neves, who's that? Newgarden.
What's this on?
INDYCAR's website. If you go into the where it says for the Grand Prix, there's a part that says tab that says race details.
Okay.
And when you scroll down, you'll see a trophy. It says driver performance. And it just brings up a performance index. But you look at some of the names that have been doing this since 2014. Their average finish there.
Right.
I mean, it's something neat to see. You kind of see the history of how this race has gone.
Well, let's see. Latest media.
The best average finisher is Will Power.
Well,
with
yeah.
an average finish of 6th place.
Yeah, I just put a link in the chat for you, Frank.
I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about qualifying from today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good, nice recovery for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan with Harvey getting in the fast 6 and Lundgaard getting his first pole. Very nice to see.
And Graham getting 15th or something.
Yeah.
19th.
Well, he wasn't too despondent about missing out on the fast 6. He was.
No, he's definitely gotten really used to doing well with these interviews now of him, not doing well. He's definitely not as angry as he used to be about it. I guess, when you do something long enough, you get used to it, right?
Yeah. So, and Romain was...
Such sarcasm, Josh.
I'm not good with sarcasm.
Apparently not. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not serious, man. Yeah, I mean, Lundgaard threw a screamer down at the end of the Fast 12, man. Like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, Felix came within a hair of getting him, though.
This series is so tight; it's insane.
Yeah,
it really is crazy. I think in the last practice, it was between 1st and 15th was 300th of a second. It's pretty. 3,000. 300th. Yeah. So, at least that's what Graham said in his disappointment interview. So, I was working when it happened. So,
yeah, Graham's placed 8th.
8th, that's what it was. It's pretty good for Graham, actually.
I was just excited, like, I don't know if excited or just like happy to see, because Lundgaard got the first place in the round 1, group 1. In round 2, he was 2nd place, only 2 thousandths off. Or no, that's 200ths off. And then to get the pole, I mean, he was just setting the pace around this track all day. So it's one of those things you love to see him finally get that first pole at a track like this, and to be dominant the whole day.
Yeah. I mean, it's the making of a coming full circle story of, he made his IndyCar debut and he made at this track, and he made it into the fast 6 that day. So, and then last year he finished 2nd, and he was the first legal car because Rossi got bopped for.
Yeah. And then who was it? Was that Kirkwood that got a penalty? In the Fast 12, I think it was. He drove off left instead of right. I don't know. That was weird looking.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But yeah. What are they saying here? I'm sorry, I'm reading. Oh no, a competitive top 8 IndyCar stage press conference Thursday. with the top 5 drivers in the standings, and it was noteworthy that 3 drivers who have combined to win 10 series championships, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, and Scott Dixon, were not in the group. They were ranked 6th, 7th, and 8th, respectively. So, that's good. Parity of the sport is amazing. It's not the best guys in the series are just going to dominate regardless. You know what I mean? Like F1 and shit. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing, though. 6th, 7th, and 8th, Will Power, Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden. The 2 biggest teams, and the 3 are arguably the 3 best drivers in the series. And there's 5 other guys that are doing better than them. And a few of them are from Andretti, which is weird. Like Romain Grosjean, of all people.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy today.
No, there's something on here about him. He's got a few quotes here. Let's see.
He's never happy.
Yeah,
His first quote was hold on a second. His first quote was, "Barber was close. We were close to St. Pete. We're here." Grosjean, quote unquote, "We're here. The win is going to come whenever it comes. If you finish every time like this, it's going to be good for the championship. We just keep coming."
Yeah, so very PR friendly.
Wait, was I expecting to be so successful in INDYCAR? Yes. I think I'm one of the best around this job, Grosjean said. Wow.
Well, I mean,
don't break your shoulder patting yourself on the back, asshole. So, I won every championship before getting to Formula One. Never, sadly, did I get the chance to have the car in F1 to win races. Was close a few times. Fucking when, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, he got taken to the woodshed by Raikkonen when Raikkonen drove for Lotus that year.
I've always liked Grosjean, and most of the time he was always in the worst car on the grid. Like, what's that worst team in F1 again?
Now,
the American team. What is
Haas.
it? Haas, yeah, Haas. Or worst team on the grid. And because he was in that first Drive to Survive. No, Drive to Survive. The F1 show.
Drive to Survive.
Yeah, because Haas was previewed pretty heavily. It was their first year. It was really Grosjean.
That first season, they mainly stuck to the lower teams like Williams, Haas, and then once the show did good, then they finally included Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, teams like that.
Then he said, "I mean, yes, I think I'm pretty decent at what I do. That's what I love doing as well. It works pretty well." Yeah. I've never said he's not a good driver, ever. I've always said, you can't be a shitty driver and make it to F1, period. I don't care what car you end up in. And F1 is your career results in F1, at least for the last century, this century anyway, and the later half of last, a long time, actually. Anyway, I lost my train. Oh yeah. Career stats of an F1 driver is not a very good ruler to gauge them on their how good they are, because it's all about the car. It's not about the driver.
Yeah, I guess Marcus Ericsson would be an example of that. I mean, never got a podium in F.
Rossi. Let's name the F1 drivers that are here. Okay, so Rossi, 500 champion. Grosjean doing good. Ericsson, 500 champion. Who am I missing? What's his face is come and gone already. He won Iowa. Gallagher, no.
Chilton,
thank you. Yeah, even Chilton won a few races. So, they're obviously good drivers if they make it to F1. And what the F1 drivers have done since, for crying out loud, what's his face almost won the damn 500. That would have been insane if he did.
Who?
Eyebrows. Yeah, that's what Josh Rebel calls what's his name from Spain?
Servia.
No, the big F1 driver that did that.
Fernando Alonso.
Thank you.
Alonso.
Okay.
I just could not remember his name. Yeah, eyebrows.
One thing I was while I've been looking over qualifying, I completely forgot. But Helio Castroneves, 26. He is second to last. I mean, the only person he beat was Santino Ferrucci, and that's not saying much.
Yeah, that team's been on the back foot all year. I mean, talking to Simon at Long Beach. I mean, he's keeping good spirits, but he's just said we're not where we need to be.
Oh, it shows.
Well,
I mean,
wasn't he
I mean,
6 feet in the air at St. Pete? Was that him? Who got popped in the air?
no, that was DeFrancesco.
That's right. But Elio and Paglia was in that wreck.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I mean, if it rains, Simon will make a splash because Simon is lethal in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, he'll make a splash.
No pun intended.
Yes, it was.
That should be the title of my album.
Well, speaking of Ericsson, a helmet for Riley, apparently, because I did see his helmet. And I'm like, there's got to be some story about the helmet because there's like a big pig handprint on the side of his helmet. Apparently, it looks like Benefit Riley Hospital for Children, Indianapolis University Hospital.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool. So Ericsson's doing charity stuff. It was a friend of mine, an NHL goalkeeper, who did something similar earlier this week. Let's see. He thought it was a great idea when his friend did it. Whoever's the NHL goaltender of, who's the hockey team in Indianapolis?
There isn't one. No, there isn't one.
So the close one would be what, the Blackhawks? Maybe.
Yeah,
the Blue Jackets. Maybe? No.
Blue Jackets are in Columbus. You got Detroit Red Wings. You got the Chicago Blackhawks. Might be near there.
Detroit's nowhere near there.
But they're in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, and the only teams that are left are
not the Flyers. I can tell you that much.
No, it's
why say it like that, jerk off?
Because I'm from Pittsburgh, damn it.
I know.
But no, it was the Hurricanes. It was the Devils who just got knocked out.
Ha
ha. Who are the other Eastern teams?
Hurricanes.
No, they.
The Rangers.
No, they just got knocked out.
Sabres. No, not Blackhawks.
The Panthers and the Maple Leafs.
Oh yeah,
are the other Eastern teams, and then the Western teams are the Stars, Kraken, Golden Knights, and the Oilers. So it would have had to have been one of those goalkeepers if he said that it happened earlier this week.
Yeah, he didn't say his name. He just said it was a friend of his. So I guess I would have to actually do some more research. What kind of cookie? The 500 has been described a number of ways, but O'Ward has come up with a new one. The big cookie. O'Ward isn't sure how he came up with that. I probably heard it somewhere, he said, and it just stuck with me. The driver of number 5 Aaron McLaren Chevrolet said, it's just a badass race. No other way to say it. In his O'Ward accent. Oh, lucky the Irish for O'Ward. Oh. I used to get shit for doing that accent for him when he was in Pro Mazda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting so much shit for it because they're like, he's Mexican. I'm like, no, he's not Mexican, but all right. He's half Mexican, but still, he lives in Texas. Born and raised in Texas. You guys act like he came over the border from Mexico City or some shit. He's an American citizen who was born here. Yeah, let's see. Odds and ends. So the last bit of media on this race, odds and ends that INDYCAR.com has set up for everybody's viewing pleasure. Let's see. Elio Castroneves lost an engine Friday second practice, requiring a change for qualifying. He said it was the engine Meyer-Shank Racing planned to use in 500 qualifying. So that sucks for him now. Going to beat the hell out of it before the big race. It makes sense. Sit it out. I would. Anyway, Joseph Newgarden on number 2 Snap-on T-Pesky Chevrolet also got hit with bad luck. On the lap that would have been his best in the first round of qualifying, Benjamin Pedersen spun out in front of him in the number 55 AG Foyt Racing Sexton Property Chevrolet. Quote, it's unfortunate because that was the lap to excel, said Newgarden, who missed transferring to the second round by 1 position and will start 13th. Oh, Jesus Christ, Josh, what are you doing?
Moving to my more comfortable chair.
I'm reading off quotes. Chugga.
Sorry.
Fucking writers, man.
Writers, he
says. Okay, so Colton Herta will start for 14th. Gives a shit. Chip Ganassi Racing's Alexander Palau, however he wants that, is the only driver to have completed every lap this season. Last year, Power and Dixon became the first pair of series drivers to accomplish that feat in the same saison. Scott Dixon had a massive slide in turn 9, reminiscent of the one Herta had last year's. Yeah, it was close. Dixon was in the first round qualifying, but he was able to advance nonetheless because he's Scott motherfucking Dixon motherfucker. There hasn't been a formal announcement, but Sam Schmidt, a co-owner of Aaron McLaren, said 2013 IMS 500 Tony Kanaan will remain with the team as he moves away from driving after this year's Indy 500 and into something of a coaching role. Kanaan made references to the new gig during a Peacock interview last month at Barber Motorsports Park. So Tony Kanaan is now Schmidt Peterson's Dario Franchitti, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Let's see. Because if people don't know, Dario Franchitti has never really left the series since his crash in Houston. He's been with Chip Ganassi as a supporting whatever.
When you see that,
Scott Dixon somehow. I don't know. Whatever.
When you see that with most racing drivers, they never really leave. Even when they retire, they don't really leave.
No, but I am surprised that Dario has taken such a step back from being in front of a camera. Even though he's there, so if he wanted to, he could obviously be on because they would love to have his sexy ass on. Because he is a gorgeous man.
Well, I know I haven't watched it in probably a year or so, but he was part of the Formula E paddock also. He was like their color commentator and would do a lot of the pre-race videos for setting up the races and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's Formula E. It's not like a real racing series. It's just an overglorified gentleman's club. People with money who want to show off, their money.
It's pretty much where the rejects from INDYCAR go to.
Yeah, because like every time I catch a race and I look at the
lineup.
Thank you. That's not exactly the word, but yeah. I always see a couple. Conway. I always see Conway.
Oh, that paddock has had so many come and goes. Drivers that would come in and
just like
do it. Yeah, do it for a season or half a season, and I remember, Josh Hartley came in and did like half a season. He's a world endurance driver for Toyota Gazoo Racing, and he did like a handful of races and then just bowed out, and they had to find a substitute.
Well, he bowed out because his next race was 37 days long.
Yeah. Alex Lynn's been in and out of that series multiple times. Tom Blomqvist was in there. It's just a carousel in that paddock.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Matteo Donati for Yukos won the pole for Saturday's 35 lap Indy next. So basically Indy Lights. That's cool. A Yuko, nice. I mean, Yukos always used to do good in like USF 2000 and Indy Pro, but they never were all that great in Indy Lights, so that's cool. Yukos has partnered with founders. I don't care. For the first time, Borg Warner. I don't care about sponsors. Shit. For the first time, Borg Warner has launched co-branded Borg Warner Trophy merchandise. Come and buy merch. Borg Warner the flamethrower. a big Borg Warner that can burn your house. That's great.
I will say it was cool to see Matteo Nanani get the pole in Indy next as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, him and in Indy Pro or whatever it's called now, Pro whatever. What was his name? Pronto or something? Proto, rookie. Oh, he was pretty quick though. Rob Howden was speaking highly of him, so that says something. But for some reason in practice, they only named one driver from Indy Pro, and that was this guy. Begins with an L. It's a short last name. Lima. Was it?
Let me see.
I think it was like Lima or Lima Bean. I don't know, but yeah, they brought him up there because he qualified in top 10. I'm like, so what? Like, what does that matter? Like, who is this guy? Why did you bring that up? It's just weird. It's a weird thing to bring up. At any rate, so yeah, so going to the race, Christian Lundgaard on the pole, that's pretty amazing. To be honest, I just didn't expect it, but
No.
I mean, I wouldn't keep calling him a rookie, but he's not. He's a sophomore, but
Mm-hmm.
all these young guys who like I'm even out of the loop with are really impressing me. Because I guess the class that I came up with as far as my media career is like Pato Awards. Pato Award, Malukas, Kirkwood. It was kind of in that realm. So all these other guys, I just don't know the names anymore.
Looking over the USF Pro 2000s, there was a Jackson Lee.
That's Kevin Lee's son.
Oh, then that's why they brought it up. That makes sense. Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah.
Did make the connection. All right. Thank you, Josh. All right, so predictions. Let's get some predictions out there. So who's gonna win the weekend, Josh? And is it possible that somebody does the sweep Pagano style?
To win, let me look at the lineup. I'd say I wouldn't bet against Lundgaard to win, but to win this race. But if we're looking at an Indy sweep, I think a realistic possibility would be Rosenqvist.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's due for some good luck to come his way.
He had good luck. He wasn't fired last year.
He wasn't shipped off to Formula E.
Yeah.
There is that, but I mean, he's, last year for one thing, he's always done good at the Indy road course. Got his first pole there, and last year he was right in the thick of the fight for the 500. So, and I mean, keep in mind the odds on Ericsson to win the 500 were almost. I mean, I don't know how much they were, but they were out there, and I'd imagine the odds on Rosenqvist if I put down $100, which I plan to, I'd come out on top.
You degenerate gambler.
Hey, the TVG is very addictive,
isn't it?
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah. Well. What's even fun is on TVG is that you can bet the carriage races or there's quarter horses that only run a quarter mile.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. It's like when they stop, how the hell does that guy get down? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does he climb? Does he use the horse's tail? Like, I don't know. It's crazy though. How they don't crash with those things is amazing. Anyway, okay, so you're thinking you think Rosenquist could possibly win the 500 too, or no?
Absolutely.
You're absolutely insane. You wouldn't bet on that.
I would.
Yeah, but you lose all. Okay, you're right. You lose all the time. How about you, Matt? Who?
Oh, and that's whenever you asked about that, I remembered I haven't set my fantasy team yet, so I've been frantically searching, trying to figure that out. While, so Josh, I'm going to take your advice. I'm putting Rosenquist on my fantasy team.
Wow.
I'm trusting you on this one. I'm trying to think who else I want to put on here. I was looking at the results. I was thinking Jack Harvey. He doesn't cost that much. He's starting towards the top, but I don't think he's going to stay there. This is the hard part because they only give you $100 to spend. Every driver has a different dollar amount. I put Rosenquist cost $26 right off the bat, so I'm down to 74.
Shit. Do you guys see my screen, or do you see a bunch of screens?
Yeah, so we see your screen.
Okay, so you see motorsport.com?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this foot livery. I'm sorry, but God, that's ugly as hell.
Ooh.
Yikes.
I don't like the stars on the nose. Maybe if it was reversed.
It looks like the Homelander car. It literally looks like it's got a big Homelander cape on it.
Uh-huh. Like I said, maybe if it was reversed so that the stars were on the backside.
It wouldn't make any sense because it's got to be in the motion of it blowing in the wind. It would look backwards.
That's just unpleasant to look at.
Isn't it gaudy as hell? Wow. This guy's the man right here, though. David Mulcher. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mulcher made me laugh hard in Long Beach.
He's funny, dude. He signed my book that he wrote, The Willpower.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I still got to get that one. I read part of it in Barnes and Noble.
It's good. A lot of it has Lizzie in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay, right? That's her name.
Yeah, Liz, his wife.
Yeah, Liz. I'm sorry. Why did I say Lindsay? Yeah, Liz. It's got a lot of Liz in it. Well, she helped him write it anyway. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Malser always has something witty and funny to say.
Oh boy, Malser's the man.
Yeah, at Texas one year, he asked me if I was driving back the night of the race, and I said, if I did that, I'd end up in a guardrail. And he said, yeah, some people would miss you, but I wouldn't miss you.
Jesus.
I was like, all right, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's trolled Wolfgang a couple times.
Oh, those two are hysterical, man. Wolfgang just smells. That's all. Josh is in love with this man.
He's the most interesting man in the universe. Has nothing on Wolfgang Monser.
No. Matt and everybody listen. This guy Wolfgang, he's a German journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Comes over from Deutschland to report on INDYCAR, and he always every time he asks a question, it's always a two-parter every time, and it's some of the dumbest shit you'll ever hear. And the way he puts it, since English isn't his first language, the way he like, you could just see just the pain on the drivers' faces when he asks them questions. They're like, oh.
He even I've seen him at NASCAR races, and even remember when ARCA ran it. Remember when ARCA ran at Iowa?
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah. He asked some of the ARCA drivers questions, and they were just like,
Well, who the fuck is this guy?
They were.
Yeah, did he ask him what he was like when you're here and IndyCar is at the track you guys race with, do you ever look at those cars and say, wow, those are real cars? Do you ever wish you could drive them too? Like goddamn, dude. He just out with it. But I'll just look at the standings. Marcus Ericsson leading the points is pretty. It's not amazing to me, but it's. I'm happy to see it, to be honest, because I like the guy. I think he's good for the sport. It won't last because whoever leads the points in like the up to Indy never wins the championship. They burn out too quick for some reason. I don't know why. It always seems that way anyway. But yeah, I mean, so and I'm gonna say Lundgaard gets his first win.
Oh damn!
He's gonna lead the whole race. He's gonna keep everybody in his rear view. And Power will get third, and I'm gonna take Pillow as a runner-up. And then I'm going to say Ericsson goes back to back on the 500. I'm going to call that.
Ooh, wow.
That's right. He's not going to win the championship, but he's going to he's going to put his thing down. Ericsson was quoted as saying that he thinks he should get paid to drive instead of paying to drive with his talent. I didn't know that was the setup, the case for him. But then, who's he racing for?
Chip
Ganassi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chip.
Yeah, so he's got the money.
Yeah, I still want to see Husky Chocolate in America.
You know what? Ericsson just needs to hang in there and have Pillow bounce out next year so he can get that money.
Oh, he will.
The money's there. It's just going to Pillow at the moment. Once Pillow's gone, Ericsson can slide and get that paycheck, son.
So I'm going to try to
that's my
angle this. So there's my fantasy team for this weekend.
All right.
And then my top three. Like I said, I'm trusting you on this one, Josh.
Top three for the 500?
No, this is for this weekend's race.
Oh.
Yo, join the ICP league. There is one.
Yeah?
Yeah. I made one at the beginning of the season. Everybody else out there, because this is a podcast, join our league, please. ICP. I'm not exactly sure if that's what it's called, but you'll find it. Just search that. Of course, it's on the INDYCAR mobile app. Yeah. Before the podcast, the Bard is Google's new AI Chat GPT clone, I guess you would call it. So I asked it to write a script for a podcast with this weekend's IndyCar race as the whatever. I forget how I worded it. I worded it very stupidly, and it came up with a good script if you didn't know what you're talking about, but you knew at least something of it, which I was surprised that I even did that, but I was pretty interested with it. It's called The Bard, so I check it out. It came out about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the Bard, isn't that an episode of the Twilight Zone too?
It is, but that's because it's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
The Bard, Shakespeare writing clone.
Yeah. That was a season 4 episode too.
It was one of the worst ones, yeah.
Oh, really? You thought it was one of the worst? I thought it was below average.
Yeah, extremely below average. Yeah, especially for season 4. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, the bar is not set very high.
No, because they're all an hour long and they're awful. Yeah. Anyway, right on. So, is there any other news that came out you guys want to touch on? Anything that you guys want to bring up before here?
I got one. If it looks like an IndyCar race in Argentina might be materializing with the Junco support.
Oh boy.
You think so? Because
Yeah, it was.
IndyCar needs to branch out again and get out of the country and start spreading it around the world, because there's a larger audience than they think or people think there is.
Yeah,
Much larger audience. Australia, large audience in Australia, large audience in France.
Yeah,
and Japan.
surfers. Yeah, well, I mean, talking to Scott Dixon at Australia, he was very much advocating for surfers, and I even brought up there's an oval outside of Melbourne that's been out of use for like 20 years, and so it's like we can
go there, yeah.
Yeah, the Calder Park Thunderdome, as they call it. It's so go there, and then surfers is all. And even though surfers is just supercars now, it's a extremely passionate crowd, and in having IndyCar go there would be.
Oh,
what?
Frank, here's something I wanted to bring up. I hopped on IndyCar subreddit.
But you cut Josh off to do this.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead, finish.
Oh no, I was done. I was just saying surfers, in IndyCar going back to surfers would be awesome, and I'm actually going to be going to surfers for the supercar racing in October.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's my summer vacation.
The only way IndyCar will go surfers is if surfers, schedules them at the other end of the season, not in October.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless IndyCar can lengthen their season to end it after surfers, because I think ending it on Americans.
It ends way too soon.
Yeah.
The start is way too early because they skip a whole month before the second race. So what's the point? And the end is way too soon. The off season is way too long.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, or how about IndyCar at Bathurst?
I don't care where they go. Bathurst would be fine. Cool.
I think at Bathurst somebody might die.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is a possibility. Yeah, do you remember when they ran the Formula 5000 at Bathurst like a year or so ago, and they stopped the race because the wrecks were so bad?
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
What is Bathurst like? What's the layout like?
It's
so I have driven this track on ACC and Forza Motorsport. It's basically take a rectangle, and then the top left corner, cut it away, and then it goes. Actually, let me just.
Because I've raced it 100 times, I just can't place it.
All right, I put the track layout in the chat.
Where?
Private chat.
I know, I'm looking at it. Oh, we had a Facebook user say Felix is the new version of RHR, nonstop cartoon anvil dropping. He ain't wrong. I mean, he did go full speed into a concrete wall once.
Yeah, and almost got into the fence at Pocono.
It's true. Yeah. But I mean I remember that. What was that?
It was
Detroit.
Oh yeah,
it was at Detroit where his throttle got stuck and he just went full head on rated. Oh my god. Anywho,
yeah. Right, if you look at the picture that Josh put up,
I still don't see it. I don't know what he's talking about. Where?
On the right side, see private chat.
No. Oh my god, I'm feeling like crap.
Where you would have seen the comment from the
Facebook there it is. I'm sorry, I got it.
Private chat, and then he put Wikipedia for Mount Panorama.
Oh, I remember this now. Okay, yeah, I remember this track. Yep.
So you got very high speed sections in the straightaways, but once you get into that squiggly part in the corner, you go up a mountain and then you come back down the mountain. And when you come back down, it's just left, right, the whole way down.
See, this is what they should be doing, though. I mean, just get them over it. Because don't we have 3 New Zealanders?
Well, we have an Australian, a New Zealander.
No, there's more than just one. I mean, Scott McLaughlin, Scott.
Yeah, Marcus Armstrong.
McLaughlin,
Armstrong, that's it.
Dixon.
Yeah, we have 3 New Zealanders in this series,
and an Australian.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Well, Australia, that's a big country, and they have a decent amount of people, but New Zealand doesn't and isn't, and we have 3 of them. It's insane. Like, the country is so small, but the representation is humongous.
Mm-hmm.
So why we're not over in that part of the world racing is beyond me. We need to be.
Mm-hmm. But no, the article that I found.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, though,
yeah.
You know, I'm on the East Coast, and IndyCar has no representation here. They're on the other side of the fucking world, and they got 3 drivers.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
So that article, it's Husky Chocolate is creating a new vodka cocktail drink called Ice Spirits, and it will become the lead brand for Husky Enterprises and presence in IndyCar with Marcus Ericsson and Chip Ganassi Racing. Husky Chocolate is not commercially available in the U.S., but Ice Spirits will be.
And they're not paying us for sponsorship, so what are you doing?
Well, you were saying about the Husky thing earlier about it not being over here, and it made me. I remembered seeing that article.
I didn't say that. Did Josh?
Oh, I said it.
Oh, it was Josh said it.
Yeah, like.
But yeah, when I remembered seeing that article when you said about if there was any news, I'm like, yeah, I found this article.
Fascinating shit, guys.
I think the only other thing would be 100 Days to IndyCar.
I like it. It's just, I think it's done pretty well, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I mean it's not really.
It's not my cup of tea, but it'll attract a certain type of fan that likes that shit.
Right, and
that's fine.
It's. I like it better than Drive to Survive.
Well, yeah, because it's more personal, I think.
Well, not even that, but like with Drive to Survive, it was so dramatized. And they would skip around, like you'd see this race and then this race, and then they go back to a race to show you something. And it was just all to build drama, where this is one race at a time. Yeah, they start like you started at the beginning of the season, and then you're going with them throughout the season.
Yeah.
MotoGP had one last year or the year before that did just god awful. So I mean, looking at what it is, I really like it. I think it's you're getting to see a look behind and see who these drivers really are. So yeah, I like it. It's like you said, it's not really my cup of tea. I'd watch it to see what it is, and
yeah, I watch it to support the series.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I am. If it was like, hey, if
like I know I'm not its target audience, so
and that's how I feel too.
Yeah, so I give it a wide berth. Like I'm not going to criticize too much of it because it's not for me. It wasn't made for me. I'm already a diehard fan. They're trying to grab them, so it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. For some reason, there's a video up on IndyCar.com with David Malukas driving around Matt Leinart.
Who?
Exactly.
Why?
He's a quarterback from like 20 years ago who didn't do anything. He was a Heisman winner. That's about it. He has no connection to Indianapolis. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. Was he a quarterback for the Colts at one point? I don't think so, because Manning would have been there at that time. Then again, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Matt Leinart is a name people haven't heard in a long time. I know I haven't read it in a long time. Anyway, I just thought that was weird. But Malukas looks happy to be doing it for him, or whatever. But all right, so at any rate, the race is tomorrow, Saturday at Was it 3:30?
Believe so. Let me just make sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Come on. Why is
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay. I knew it
Eastern
was-
time.
Yep.
The Indy next race is at 1 p.m.
On Peacock.
So that'll be on Peacock, and then the race itself will be on NBC and Peacock. So
Not for nothing. If you don't have Peacock, I don't know what you're doing because it pays
Yeah.
for itself in like the first race you use it.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
It more than pays for itself.
And like I've had Peacock for a while, and I get my money's worth so much out of that between
I don't even notice.
INDYCAR.
Yeah, I don't even notice that it comes out of my checking account. It's so cheap.
No, it's like $10 for the premium package.
Yeah.
And like for me in particular, I get INDYCAR, I get IMSA, I get AMA Supercross, Pro Motocross, Premier League. So if
If you're a
so
racing
much,
fan, it's about the best sports streaming app that out there.
oh yeah. Motor Trend has some stuff, but Motor Trend has been like hit and miss over the years.
It's expensive as hell too.
And then I'm starting to see more and more stuff go to YouTube. GT World Challenge has been on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched qualifying USF Pro 2000 qualifying on YouTube today.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. But you just really live streaming stuff that you get on YouTube is USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. You don't get Indy Lights, and you don't get INDYCAR.
And even those, because I tried watching the one of the USF series when they were in Sebring, and that was painful to watch because they had very like limited cameras. There was one shot they would go to, and you wouldn't see anything for about 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden these cars would come past. And then they had to wait to cut to the next camera. The worst offense, I think, was when they would come onto that straightaway right before the last corner at Sebring.
Who's this?
This was one of the USF races at Sebring earlier this year.
Oh well, it's Sebring. The track is awful. I mean, the track is not set up for television.
It's not set up for a feeder series. Like when the IMSA races go there, it doesn't do bad. But for a feeder series that has very limited production value.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's no crowd there because there's no stands anywhere.
Yeah. It's all campgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like the worst was when they would come on that like last straightaway before the final corner.
It's so long.
They wouldn't even show it. They would cut away as they went through that last corner before that straightaway.
That's because if you look down the straightaway, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It'll just be like you'll be watching them for 20 seconds. It's so damn long. It's a runway for crying out loud.
Yeah, it is. But the worst part was you'd see him go onto that straightaway. You'd never see the straightaway. The next camera shot was at the end of the front straightaway, so you just see him come around the corner.
Well, that's because there's no elevation to the entire track. It's flat.
Well, it's Florida.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. Like, so there's no elevation, so you need like scaffolding and man lifts,
scissor lifts, and stuff like that.
And they don't have camera crews out there for a feeder series like that. So, you're just going to get stationary spots set up around where you can, like they have the same setup at Indy for USF 2000 and all, but they were a lot better because they're elevated, they got fences, whatever. Plus it's Indianapolis, so of course it's going to be better. But Sebring's just an awful track for anything.
Have you been to Sebring, Frank?
Yeah, I went to watch I went to watch
IMSA, WAC, ALMS.
American Le Mans series. I went to watch them die.
Yeah.
12 hours of Sebring. I went to watch them. The last 12 hours.
Yeah, isn't the town of Sebring out in the middle of nowhere?
It's legit in the middle of nothingness. Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it full of a bunch of old people and rednecks?
A lot of
that's most of Florida.
Yeah, a lot of mobile homes. But listen, guys, I gotta bounce. I still don't. I need to run. So
Okay, real quick, one more thing. Jordan Taylor tweeted out pictures from Laguna Seca today. They added runoff to the corner right as you go up the hill towards the corkscrew, and at the left-hander coming out of the corkscrew. People are apparently really pissed off about it. There's one guy who apparently works at the track said they did it for drainage, but everyone's basically bitching that they added too much runoff. And
what do you mean runoff?
Huh?
What do you mean runoff?
Here, I'll show.
Like if you miss the corkscrew, you mean like so a car can run off if they miss the turn, or
well, so when you come out of the
corkscrew,
talking
about civil engineering. I mean,
here, I'll put it in the chat so you can look at it. I just posted the link to it. There's two pictures. And once you see the pictures, we'll know exactly where on the track it is.
Yeah. Well, it's basically just, like how F1 tracks have the track limits.
there we go.
I don't know. I don't know if Laguna really needs a full repave. It's just going to make it. It's going to eliminate the passing opportunities, and we saw after they repaved Watkins Glen kind of turned dull.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to walk it with Eric Filigaris and all them. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to walk Watkins Glen after they paved it. That the boot, the elevation on the boot is insane, man. It's like a 60-foot drop. It's pretty insane standing on it. Like watching on TV it doesn't do it justice at all. I wish they'll go back there. I just want to race in the East Coast period. But yeah, I gotta run. Of course, I'm gonna be late. I'm always late. But all right, well, everybody, thanks for listening, and we will. I guess we'll do a show next week after the race, talk about it, and bring up to speed with the up and coming month of May. Because is it May? Yes, hell yeah, bitches, it's May.
Yeah, everyone have a great race weekend, and have some fun watching the race this weekend.
All right.
See you guys.
Yep. See ya.
Come on. Yeah, who is that? It's got to be Josh.
It's me.
No.
Oh, come on, Matt.
Oh, my ringtone's the Kodak from Metal Gear Solid.
We're still live.
Yeah, I know. No, I was ending the recording. It's not the same app. I got the AVS editor.